A man is owned through 4 doors: his mind, his mouth, his money, and his moves. Every person who has ever controlled you came in through one of those 4. They got into your mind and steered your thoughts. They used your mouth and turned your own words against you. They leaned on your money, because a man who needs a paycheck can be made to kneel for one. Or they counted on your inaction, because a man who never moves can be safely ignored forever. 4 doors, and right now, all 4 of yours are standing wide open. Look at your life honestly. Your mind runs on other people's noise from the moment you wake. Your mouth spends promises you don't keep and words you don't weigh. Your money owns you instead of the other way around. And your moves, the actual things you do each day, are a fraction of the things you decided to do. You are not commanded by an enemy. You are uncommanded. There's no one at the gate, and a fortress with no one at the gate belongs to whoever walks in next. And here's the part most men never face. Nobody did this to you. There's no villain holding your 4 doors open. The mind drifted because guarding it was work. The mouth spent freely because restraint was uncomfortable. The money ran wild because counting it was painful. The moves never happened because moving was hard, and tomorrow was easy. 4 doors opened from the inside by the only man who had the keys, which is brutal news and good news in the same breath. Because if you open them, you can close them. No permission needed, no rescue required. The same hands that let the world in can seal it out. Machiavelli wrote that nothing is weaker or less stable than power that rests on the strength of others. He warned that the prince who depends on borrowed arms builds his whole position on sand, because what is borrowed can be taken back. Your mind, your mouth, your money, and your moves are your own arms. They're the only army you'll ever truly command. Master all 4, and no one can own you, because there's no door left to come through. Leave even one open, and everything you build stands on sand. So today we take the 4 pillars, one at a time. What it means to command each one, where you're leaking, and the exact discipline that seals each door. But listen closely, because the 4th pillar is not what you think. The 4th is the one that decides whether the first 3 ever become real. And it's the one nobody talks about, because it's the one that can't be faked. Stay until the end. That's where the whole throne gets built. And as always, this is armor, not a weapon. You're not mastering these 4 to rule other men. You're mastering them so no man can ever rule you. So before we start, drop 4 words in the comments. I command all 4. Type it. Then let's seal the first door, the first pillar, master your mind. Here's the brutal question. Whose thoughts are you thinking right now? Because if you're like most men, the honest answer is not yours. You wake up and reach for the phone, and within 90 seconds, your mind is full of other people's outrage, other people's opinions, other people's emergencies. You didn't choose a single one of those thoughts. They were delivered to you like cargo, and you accepted the shipment without checking what was inside. Your first thought of the day belongs to an app. Your worries were planted by a feed. Your opinions arrived pre-assembled, and you can't remember building any of them. Your mind runs all day, but you're not the one running it. And a man whose mind is run by others has already lost every battle that matters, because every battle starts there. Here's the mechanism. An unguarded mind gets colonized, not by force, but by volume. Whatever shouts loudest and most often becomes what you think about, and what you think about becomes what you feel, and what you feel becomes what you do. The chain of command of your entire life starts in your thoughts, and you've left the top of that chain unguarded. There's also a second front in this war, and it's inside you. The impulse, the sudden urge that demands obedience right now. In the year 1972, the psychologist Walter Mischel ran his famous experiment at Stanford, placing a single tray in front of young children and offering a second one if they could wait alone with it for a few minutes. Some grabbed it instantly, some held out. And when researchers followed those children for years afterward, They found that the ones who could hold an impulse without obeying it tended to do better across their lives, in school, in composure, in handling stress. The finding points at something cold and simple. The mind that can feel an urge and not obey it is the mind that stays in command. Machiavelli would put it plainly. A man who cannot rule the country inside his own skull will be ruled in every country outside it. Picture the difference in a single morning. One man wakes and grabs the phone, and by breakfast his mind is a rented room, crowded with strangers. The other man wakes and gives the first 30 minutes to no one. No phone, no feed, just his own thoughts, his own plan for the day, maybe a page of writing in his own words. By breakfast, his mind is his. Same morning, one man started the day colonized, the other started it as a king walking his own walls. And the same battle runs at the other end of the day. 2 in the morning, and the loop starts. The thing you said wrong replaying, the worry circling, the same lap again and again, solving nothing. That loop feels like thinking, but it isn't thinking. Thinking moves toward an answer. The loop just spins, burning your sleep as fuel. Here's the move that breaks it. Give the loop a job or give it a bedtime. Ask it once, is there an action I can take about this tomorrow? If yes, name the action, one sentence, and the loop loses its reason to spin. If no, then say it plainly, there's nothing here to solve, and return your attention to your breath as many times as it takes. A commanded mind isn't a quiet mind. It's a mind where the commander decides what gets thought about twice. So here's the directive for the first pillar. Own the first hour. No phone, no feed, no other voices until you've had your own thoughts first. And through the day, practice catching one impulse and holding it. Feel the urge to check, to react, to grab, and make it wait. Every impulse you hold without obeying is a repetition, and enough repetitions build a mind that answers to you alone. And there's one more front inside this pillar, the deepest one. The narrator. There's a voice in your head that talks about you all day long, and most men have never once asked where its script came from. It says you're behind. It says you're not the kind of man who follows through. It says, who do you think you are? That voice sounds like you, so you obey it like it's you. But listen closely, and you'll hear other people in it. A parent's doubt, a teacher's dismissal, years of feeds designed to make you feel insufficient, so you'll keep scrolling and keep buying. Mastering your mind means auditing that narrator, so add this to the discipline. At the end of each day, take 2 minutes and ask one question. What did the voice tell me today, and was it true? You'll be shocked how often the answer is no, and every time you catch the narrator lying, its authority over you drops. You're not silencing the voice, you're demoting it from commander to advisor, where it belongs. That's the first door sealed, but a commanded mind can still be betrayed by an uncommanded mouth. And that's the second pillar. The second pillar. Master your mouth. Your word is a currency, and most men are printing it into worthlessness. Every promise you make and break devalues it. Every plan you announce and abandon devalues it. Every piece of gossip you pass along devalues it. And the terrifying part is that everyone around you is keeping the ledger, even though no one ever shows it to you. People know with surprising precision whose word is solid and whose word is air. Which one are you? You say I'll handle it, and you don't. You say I'll be there, and you're late. You commit in the excitement of the moment, and quietly back out when the excitement fades. You repeat the thing you swore you'd keep private just once to just one person. Each one feels small. Together they are a reputation, and a reputation is the interest rate the world charges you on everything. Here's the mechanism. Trust is not built by words. It's built by the gap between your words and your actions, and the smaller the gap, the heavier your word weighs. When a man whose word has never bounced says I'll handle it, entire rooms relax because his sentence is backed by years of delivery. When a man whose word bounces says the same 3 words, nothing happens because everyone has learned to wait and see. Same sentence, completely different purchasing power. And gossip is the fastest devaluation of all. Because every time you carry a story about someone, the listener learns one thing above all else. This man carries stories, which means their stories aren't safe with you either. You thought you were bonding. You were downgrading your own credit in their eyes, in real time. Machiavelli understood that a leader's utterances are instruments, and that the man who speaks carelessly hands the world a record that will be read back against him at the worst possible hour. Picture the two men in a crisis at work. Things are on fire, and the room is scrambling. The first man talks a lot, promises a lot, and everyone keeps scrambling because his words move no weight. The second man, the one whose word has never once bounced, says quietly, "I'll have it fixed by Thursday," and the room actually exhales. The panic drops, not because the problem changed, but because his word is a currency the whole room trusts. That power took him years of kept promises to mint. And it's available to you, starting with the next promise you make. So here's the directive for the second pillar. Treat every word as a contract. Promise less than you know you can deliver, then deliver more than you promised. Put a delay on commitments. When someone asks for something, say, "Let me confirm tomorrow," instead of "yes" in the heat of the moment, because excitement writes checks that discipline has to cash. And starve every piece of gossip that reaches you. Let stories come to you and die. In 6 months, your word will weigh more than most men's signatures. And understand that mastering the mouth includes mastering when it stays shut. Watch the most respected man in any serious room. He almost always speaks last, not because he's slow, but because he's harvesting. While everyone else rushes to be heard, revealing their positions, their egos, their gaps, he listens, and by the time he speaks, he's the only one in the room who has heard everyone. His few sentences land on top of everything already said, with the weight of a verdict. Speaking last is a discipline, and it costs you something real. It costs you the little hit of being seen, the urge to prove you're smart right now. Pay that cost. Let the eager men spend themselves first. In any meeting, any negotiation, any argument that matters, make this your rule. You speak once, near the end, and what you say accounts for what everyone else revealed. One weighted sentence at the close beats 20 eager ones at the start. That's the second door sealed. Now stop with me here, because there's a question about these 4 pillars that should make you angry. Think about the thousands of hours you spent in school. They taught you the dates of wars and the parts of a cell. Now answer this. Which of these 4 pillars did school teach you to command? Did anyone teach you to guard your mind against manipulation? To make your word into currency? To command money instead of serving it? To close the gap between deciding and doing? Not one. 4 pillars that decide whether a man is free or owned. And the system that raised you skipped all 4. So tell me in the comments, and be honest, do you think that's an accident? Or is a man who commands his mind, his mouth, his money, and his moves simply harder to manage? Say what you actually think below. I read the ones that start arguments. The third pillar, master your money. Let's say the cold part first. Every dollar you have is a soldier, and right now your soldiers are deserting every night while you sleep. You don't know exactly where they go. You don't know how many you have. You couldn't say, within a real number, what you spent last month or what you'd have left if the paycheck stopped. And a general who doesn't know the size of his own army isn't a general. He's a passenger in his own war. You earn and it evaporates. You spend on autopilot, in small amounts, in taps and swipes you never feel. You avoid looking at the account the way a man avoids looking at a wound. And because there's no reserve behind you, every decision in your life is made with a gun you can't see pressed against your back. The gun is the next bill, and it never stops being loaded. Here's the mechanism. And understand, this is not about greed. Money, mastered, is stored freedom. Every dollar you command and keep is a small piece of the word no. The man with 6 months of life banked can decline the disrespectful client, push back on the unreasonable boss, walk away from the bad deal, Because he can afford the consequences of his own spine. The man with nothing behind him can afford no spine at all. He swallows the disrespect, takes the terms, stays where he's shrinking, not because he's weak, but because he's cornered, and a cornered man's choices are made for him. This is why mastering money is not a financial topic. It's a power topic. Whoever funds your life owns a vote in your life, and the only way to buy that vote back is to build your own ground to stand on. Machiavelli would recognize this instantly. A prince fed by another man's treasury serves another man's throne, and the first act of sovereignty, always, is securing your own supply. Picture two men handed the same insult by the same boss. The first man is one paycheck from zero, and he takes it, smiles even, and hates himself in the car. The second man has a year of quiet discipline banked behind him, and he responds with calm, level pushback, unafraid, because the worst case doesn't terrify him. Watch what happens next. The boss respects the second man more by Friday, not because of his words, because power can smell reserves, the same way it can smell their absence. The money never came up in the conversation. It didn't have to. It was standing behind him the whole time. So here's the directive for the third pillar. And it starts tonight. Know your numbers. Sit down and find the real figures. What comes in, what goes out, what you'd have if it all stopped tomorrow. The number will hurt. Look at it anyway, because you cannot command an army you refuse to count. Then reverse the flow. Before the month spends you, pay your freedom first. A fixed slice, moved automatically every single month into ground no one can touch. Not for luxury later, for the word no. Now every month that passes, your spine gets a little cheaper to afford. And watch the third front in this pillar, the one that empties most men. Emotional spending. Look honestly at your last 20 purchases and ask what each one actually bought. Some bought function, fine, but a lot of them bought a feeling, relief from a bad day, a flash of status in someone's eyes, a distraction from the thing you were avoiding. That's not spending, that's medicating with soldiers. And the cruel part is the feeling fades in days while the drain is permanent. So you have to buy the feeling again and again, and the army bleeds out one small purchase at a time. The discipline here is one question, asked in the moment before any non-essential purchase. What feeling am I buying right now? If the honest answer is relief, status, or escape, put it down. Because there are cheaper ways to get all three, and none of them cost soldiers. Command the emotion, and the money commands itself. That's the third door sealed. And now the fourth pillar, the one I told you about. The one that decides whether the first three were ever real. The fourth pillar, master your moves. Here's the truth that separates this pillar from the others. Your mind, your mouth, and your money are all potential. Your moves are proof. A commanded mind that never acts is a library no one reads. A weighted word that never becomes motion is just better sounding air. Reserves that fund no action are a museum of freedom. The fourth pillar is where the other three either become a life or stay a theory. And for most men, they stay a theory forever. Look at the graveyard inside you. The business you decided to start 3 years ago. The shape you decided to get in every January. The conversation you decided to have. The skill you decided to learn. The move you decided to make. Decided. And between each decision and the first real action, a gap opened up, and the decision quietly died in that gap. That gap has killed more of your life than any enemy ever will. Here's the mechanism. The gap between deciding and doing is where the mind renegotiates. Give a decision a week of stillness, and your brain will find you 9 reasons to delay, soften, and shrink it, because the brain's job is comfort, not greatness. But there's a second, deeper mechanism, and it's the real prize. Identity is built from repeated action and nothing else. You do not become disciplined by deciding to be disciplined. You become disciplined by moving, today, again tomorrow, again the day after, until the man who moves is simply who you are. Every move casts a vote for the man you're becoming. Every delay casts a vote for the man you've been, and the election never stops running. Machiavelli filled his work with contempt for hesitation. He watched fortune favor the bold and bury the deliberate, and his conclusion was merciless. The man who waits for the perfect moment is overtaken by the man who makes the imperfect moment work. Picture two men who make the same decision on the same night. Both decide to build the thing. The first man plans to start properly, next week, when things settle. The gap opens, the mind renegotiates, next week becomes next month, and the decision joins the graveyard. The second man does something small within 24 hours. Sends the one message, buys the one tool, does the first ugly imperfect rep. It's tiny, and it doesn't matter that it's tiny, because the gap never opened, and a decision in motion is 100 times harder to kill than a decision at rest. A year later, the first man still has the idea. The second man has the result. Same mind, same decision, different moves, entirely different lives. So here's the directive for the fourth pillar, and it rules all the others. The 24-hour law. Every real decision gets a first physical action within one day. Not the whole plan. One move, one message sent, one session done, one page written, while the decision is still hot. And then the second law, which is the first law repeated. Move again tomorrow, small, ugly, imperfect, and relentless, and protect the chain once it starts, because momentum is the cheapest power you'll ever own. A man in motion needs a fraction of the willpower a man at rest needs, the same way a rolling stone barely needs a push. That's why the first week matters more than the first month. And it's why the deepest rule of the fourth pillar is this. Never miss twice. You'll miss a day, life will see to that, and one missed day means nothing. But the second missed day is not a miss. It's a decision, the quiet beginning of the graveyard. So when you break the chain, and you will, the only move that matters is the very next one. Back on the next day, no drama, no makeup sessions, no punishment. Just the next small move, like nothing happened. Miss once like a human, return like a machine. You are not trying to be impressive, you are trying to be inevitable. And there's a second graveyard next to the first one, and it's even more crowded, the graveyard of things you started and abandoned. Because starting is cheap now, starting feels good, and the world applauds starts. The gym in January, the course in March, the project in June, started, posted about, abandoned. And every abandoned start teaches your own mind the same lesson. That your decisions are temporary, that the man in charge doesn't really mean it. That lesson compounds into the quiet self-distrust most men carry and can't name. So the fourth pillar has a second law beyond moving fast. Finish, pick fewer things, and finish them completely. Even when they've gone boring, even when a shinier start is calling. A finished small thing builds more sovereignty than 10 impressive abandoned ones, because finishing is the rarest move there is, and your own mind is keeping score. The man who finishes what he starts eventually trusts his own word the way the world trusts it. And a man who trusts his own word is very hard to stop. That's the fourth door sealed, and with it, the throne is built. Now step back and look at what you're holding. 4 pillars, 1 structure, master your mind. And no one can steer your thoughts, because you're the one at the gate. And no impulse inside you gets obeyed without your signature. Master your mouth, and your word becomes currency, so heavy that 3 quiet sentences from you move more than other men's speeches. Master your money, and you own the word no, because there are reserves standing behind your spine. And master your moves, and everything the first 3 pillars built becomes real, cast in action, vote by vote, until the man you decided to be is simply the man you are. 4 doors, sealed, and here's what changes when they are. The people who used to reach into your life and move you around find nothing to grab. The manipulator can't get into your mind. The gossip can't get anything from your mouth. The employer can't corner you through your money. The world can't dismiss you as a talker, because your moves speak first. You haven't become aggressive. You've become closed to invasion, sovereign, A man whose 4 doors answer only to him. And here's the part that makes the work compound. The 4 pillars feed each other. A commanded mind makes it easier to hold your tongue, because you're not speaking from impulse anymore. A weighted word makes money easier to command, because a man who keeps promises to others starts keeping them to himself. Reserves in the bank make bold moves cheaper, because failure stops being fatal. And every move you finish strengthens the mind that started it. 4 pillars, 1 flywheel, which also means it doesn't matter which one you start with. Push any single door shut with real discipline, and you'll feel the other 3 get lighter. Most men never seal any of the 4 because they think they have to seal all 4 at once. You don't. You need 1 honest month on your weakest pillar, and the flywheel does the rest. Machiavelli's warning stands over all of it. Power that rests on the strength of others is sand. These 4 pillars are the only strength that's actually yours, the only army that can't desert, can't be bribed, and can't be taken back by whoever loaned it. So build them, not someday, today, within 24 hours, 1 small move on the weakest of your 4. You already know which one it is. Say it one more time and put it in the comments. I command all 4. Mind, mouth, money, moves, the whole throne or none of it. If this one built something in you, you're one of us now. Subscribe and stay close, because the next video turns your eyes outward. It's about the first 5 minutes with any man, and how everything he is leaks out in the small, tells almost nobody knows how to read. Machiavelli's lion and fox applied to every room you'll ever walk into. Once you learn to read it, no one gets to hide from you again. Don't miss it. Seal the 4 doors, cast the votes, and watch what happens to a man the world can no longer find a way into.